Happy birthday to the one and only Stan Lee. You are a legend. You lived a legend and you died a legend. And hello everyone, it's me, Mario Fan 520, and welcome back to another movie review. Today I will be reviewing a couple of Marvel movies for Stan Lee's birthday and obviously his death. And today I'd love to start reviewing his first film of 2018, I think, Black Panther. I believe that was the first Marvel film that was released in this year in 2018. But yeah. Now, if you're not familiar with my last video, I did a review on this movie, but only on my website. But now, technically, you can't necessarily go on my website right now because my website is technically locked. So, you can't necessarily go on my website and see that review or read the review, but here I am talking about my personal thoughts on Black Panther in person in a video. Let's get started talking about this. In this film, the story revolves around T'Challa, who is trying to head towards a better future and lead his people towards a better future in Wakanda, and to confront a challenger from his country's past in order to become Black Panther. This is without a doubt one of Marvel's most gorgeous looking films. The special and practical effects in this film look absolutely outstanding. The costume designs are absolutely immaculate. This is a gorgeous looking film, and it's obviously very easy to say that because all of Marvel's films in the MCU universe are technically gorgeous. The action sequences in this film are absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love the sequences in this movie. Without spoilers, they have sort of this car chase sequence in this movie that occurs. And I'm not going to explain when or what happens in the movie, but in particular sequence. But the chase sequence that's in that film, absolutely brilliant. I loved it. The story behind this film is also surprisingly very deep. I didn't really expect much out of the story, honestly, from this film, or even from the characters. The characters are very lovable in this movie. T'Challa is excellent. He's an excellent character. And Chadwick Boseman absolutely portrays T'Challa perfectly in this film. I absolutely loved this character. The performances in this movie are absolutely surprisingly well-rounded. I seriously didn't expect much from this movie. I didn't really know anything about it walking into it. And I was surprised on how everything unfolded in this amazing experience. Lupita Nyong'o was absolutely great in this movie as well, and I loved her character a lot. Really such a supportive character in this film. And all of the people of Wakanda were really, really supportive towards T'Challa, who was trying to lead Wakanda into a better future. And the setup of the story and the characters and the action sequences fits so well in this film. There are absolutely a lot of things to love about this film, and this is definitely one of Marvel's most effective films. I wouldn't really say it's one of their best films ever. Like, this isn't necessarily a masterpiece on any standards. It is still a very effective film. For some reason, when I watched this film, it made me feel good. I absolutely loved a lot of things in this film. Like I said, the characters were great, the story was deep, the action sequences were highly satisfying, and just watching this experience made me feel good. Now let's talk about my flaws with this movie. In regards to issues, I'd say the midpoints of this movie were a little slow. There were moments where I thought there were just scenes that dragged, and that's sort of expected from Marvel movies. I mean, there aren't really necessarily a lot of Marvel movies that I'd call like perfect, but there are a lot of Marvel movies that I define as good or great. And I was I was expecting to I was expecting to at least have one flaw with Black Panther. I knew this wasn't necessarily going to be a perfect movie on any standards, in my view at least. But another flaw that I had with this movie is that I think that this movie was a little too overhyped. And this is sort of unfair for the movie, but I think a lot of people were seriously overhyping this movie, expecting it to be a masterpiece. And I know a lot of people here and there have love Black Panther, and there are some people who hate Black Panther. But for the people who love Black Panther, not for the people who love Black Panther, but I just felt like this film was a little too overhyped, and some people were disappointed when they saw Black Panther because it was a little too overhyped, and I felt like this film didn't deserve to be that hyped. This film is great. It's just not a masterpiece or anything like that. But anyway, those are my only flaws that I actually have with this movie. Let's talk about Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger in this film, the main antagonist. I absolutely love this villain, and the reason why I think he's such a really good villain is because I actually do feel that somewhere in him, he is motivated enough to actually have power over Wakanda. If you think about it, it almost relates to some stories. For example, The Lion King. Which I'm not necessarily going to explain why it's similar, because if any of you guys haven't seen Black Panther, it'll just sort of give away the story of the villain. Or goal, I should say. Not really story. But the interesting thing about him is his view on Wakanda. And the world, too. And what he wants to do to Wakanda. And how he wants it to make it to go to a better future. Or I should say, a worse future. A very, very dark and terrible path. And to do that, he's gonna do anything to combat against T'Challa, even if it means getting rid of him. And I absolutely loved the arc. I loved the arc behind this character, honestly. Guys, other than that, Black Panther was a blast. I absolutely appreciate a lot of things that this movie was going for. I absolutely, really do like this movie a lot. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you check this one out, especially if you're a fan of films or even Marvel. And this film is really, really good on a lot of standards. And I am honestly happy because I didn't really expect much from this movie when I first saw it. And I'm happy to say that this is a really good film that all Marvel fans should honestly watch. I'm going to give Black Panther a B+. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. You guys are the best. Love every single one of you. Look forward to more reviews that'll be coming very soon. And as always, I am MarioFan520, and I will see you next time. Peace out.